Before we go any further, I want to preface this. Spoiler!
Fuck you. We're recording.
Yay.
We're recording.
You guys, awesome. Shut the fuck up!
I am so keeping that in.
You guys, awesome. You're also those blue skies. I'm joined by Justin and Maya, and welcome to another episode of Jam Entertainment Movie Reviews. Today, we're taking a look at Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. This movie has been very controversial. There are a lot of people that love it. There's a lot of people that hate it. From my understanding, the group of us are all people that are very fond of this movie and had a good time watching it. And we're going to discuss this.
No, I hate it.
This week, the recommendation... Shut up. You love it.
I fucking hate it.
This recommendation comes from Maya, so I will let her take the floor and get us started. Maya.
Oh god, no social anxiety shit!
Alright, you got this. You got
Come
it.
on, you got this. Let's go.
Okay, well, I loved how it had more of like a, kind of like a horror side to it. Not really horror, but like, there were some scenes that generally scared the shit out of me. I can see why people thought it was a mid-movie, because if it's a movie with the word multiverse in the title, you know, you'd expect a shit ton of cameos.
Among
I
Us.
do know that a lot of people were hoping Ghost Rider, Loki, and all these other characters to be in it. But if you want to see Ghost Rider, watch a Ghost Rider movie. If you want to see Loki, watch a movie with Loki in it. I came there to watch Doctor Strange and fight a really pissed off Scarlet Witch, and I got what I wanted, so... Sucks to suck, lol, XD, get fucked.
Hold on, I got a question. Did you go into the movie expecting to see Wanda become a villain? Because, honestly...
They kind of hinted at it, to be honest.
Honestly, I thought the story was going to be closer around something else, sending demons. I mean, also, Justin and I, we had been very hoping that this movie would actually have some, like, kind of heavy vibes with Evil Dead. I mean, we were having our hopes and wishes up. And as the movie was setting itself up, they were talking about something's been sending demons after America Chavez. And I'm like, oh shit, is it the Necronomicon? Oh!
There was this whole 2 weeks where I was like completely convinced that Ash was going to be in it. And
oh yeah, you had me convinced too.
As illogical as it is, I thought
why?
Because
You
want to hear my conspiracy theories?
Doctor Strange.
All right.
Yes.
Sit down,
Justin,
and listen to. Yeah.
Oh,
listen.
you're being dominant now, bitch.
All right, it's time for Justin's conspiracy theories. Okay?
You sit down.
No, you both sit down.
Order in the court. Order in the court.
All right,
I probably shouldn't
order
be doing
in the
that. I'm
court.
gonna wreck my desk. Let's just let Maya.
Oh yeah, right.
You're next, so let's let Maya finish what she has to say. Take it away.
One thing I didn't like about the movie was how America just figured out how to use her powers right. She, like, the whole movie, she's like, I can't control my powers. I lost my moms because of it. Then Strange just pops up and like, yes, you can. And she's like, oh, lol, you right. And then just
You're right. Well, you're right.
That almost seems cliche. To be honest, I think the funniest and most stupidest part of this movie, in my opinion, is how they explained America's parents getting sucked up. Like, oh, we're in this paradise. Nothing wrong could go happen. A bee goes flying. Ah! And then they just fucking get sucked away. It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid.
The entire world ends because of a bee.
It's like, it's the same. Okay, hold on. What is it with the MCU and putting so much plot importance in animals? We had fucking Endgame and the rat, right? And now we have America Chavez and the bee.
And then that bee later went on to sue the human race for stealing honey.
Yeah. Oh my. That's fucking hilarious.
I can't control my power. Yes, you can. 5 seconds later, oh wait, I figured it out!
Like
oh
that
shit,
meme
I've never thought about that before.
Apple shop employees are looking at a laptop and they're like, oh yeah, that's how it worked, yeah. Alright, Justin. It's your turn now. Now you can, unless Maya's done. Sorry, I assumed.
Oh no.
What would your rating be, first of all?
My rating is an 8 out of 10. It was beautiful, sad, horrifying, shock, The entire movie theater was gasping at the same time of both shock and terror. It was just phenomenal. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Before we get into my thoughts, let's go into Justin's conspiracy theories, right? So I thought that Ash was going to be in Doctor Strange. Basically, the evidence I've compiled up, it's very, very convincing evidence. Sam Raimi is directing. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Second of all,
Yeah.
Kevin Feige posted a quote, or he was like interviewed, and he said,
"Justin, could you repeat that?
Justin, shut up!
Justin,
what?
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can literally hear you.
Lagged heavily.
Oh, I lagged
heavily.
All right. So, Exhibit A, there was a quote from Kevin Feige where he said, "This movie will make Evil Dead 2 fans very happy." Exhibit B, Bruce Campbell was confirmed to be reprising his role. Exhibit C.
Well, no, hold on. He said he would be reprising a fan favorite role.
Yeah,
which in the end turned out to be he was returning as Bruce Campbell cameos. So
yeah, he was literally okay. So exhibit I think it's D. Exhibit D stands for Dick Wiener.
Learn your A, Justin. You got this. You remember.
Okay.
I think he just forgot the order where he was
D,
at.
B. Okay, exhibit B.
Exhibit H.
I'm forgetting my evidence as I go along. Okay. Exhibit E. It's awesome. Yeah, thank you for listening to my Justin's conspiracy theories. Rating. I hate doing half ratings, but it would probably be an 8.5 if I've ever seen one. For like a letterbox rating or whatever, I'll probably round it down to an 8. But it's like an 8.5 in my mind. I love this movie. It's in my top 3 of my favorite MCU movies.
I really enjoyed this movie as well. I don't think it's one of my top 5, maybe like top 10. Although I mean that takes a lot. To like just emphasize that though, to be honest, I feel like a lot of the moments, instead of it being a Marvel movie that has Raimi-esque vibes to it, there's a lot of times where it's, instead of it being it feels like Marvel being filtered through Raimi instead of Raimi filtering through Marvel, if that makes sense, right? Instead of just little aspects of Raimi sneaking into a Marvel movie, it felt like Marvel sneaking into a Raimi movie, which was like, honestly, you could take the scene where Strange is being resurrected as a zombie and put that in Evil Dead, and it would just be Evil Dead, right? There's the scene in Carmertage where, like, aspects of that, obviously, like the beginning of the fight, it's just brutal, but it's the scene where they're all in that last room. You have the Dutch angles zooming in as the doors get slammed. You have them all afraid in the silence. You have Wanda cracking through, like, sneaking an eye through the water. You have Wanda crawling disfiguredly with gashes just gnarly through a gong. I'm gonna give this movie 7 out of 5, 7 out of 10, maybe a 6.5 out of 10, but I just rounded up to a 7 out of 10. I had a lot of fun with the movie. I very much enjoyed it, but I can understand a lot of the gripes that people have.
All right, so none of the 3 of us are. I am honestly surprised about this. All 3 of us really liked the movie.
Oh well, yeah. I knew that going in. That's the general consensus of our group. So, next category, we're gonna start off with the grading board. If you're not familiar, this is the Jam Entertainment grading board. We judge the movies based off of all these 5 categories, discussing each of them and giving them specific grades, and then that total score will add up to out of 100, and will give us the actual Jam Entertainment rating of the movie. So we have cinematography, we have writing, we have acting, we have sound/music, and then we have post-production, which is editing, special effects, and pacing. So we're going to go ahead and start right off with cinematography, and since Justin is the expert in Raimi cinematography, unless someone specifically has something they'd like to bring up, like Maya, do you have anything you'd like to say? Because if not, I'm willing to hand this right over to Justin to lead on this part of the category.
You can hand it over to Justin.
Alright, Justin.
Hey, let's go! Alright, I am the Raimi expert in cinematography, kind of, sort of. Raimi, like, if you look at his full catalog, he is kind of a mixed director. But one thing you can always count on with his movies is the cinematography. He has an eye for camera movements. And it is full-blown in this movie. He uses pretty much every technique he's used in this movie. It's like a whole compilation of Sam Raimi techniques. Just throughout the movie, it is so creative with its visual spectacle. And it really does create a Marvel movie unlike any other Marvel movie that's out there. It really does separate itself from the rest of the MCU catalog. What can I say? It's Sam Raimi cinematography. It's really fucking good.
I have to agree. I think cinematography is one of the things that really sets this movie apart. Obviously it has all the Sam Raimi-esque stuff, but it also does a lot of unique things that are brand new to the MCU. One thing specifically that I could think of that I don't think I've ever seen in any other MCU movie, I don't even remember specifically. I think the only time I actually remember seeing this done within like Sam Raimi's movies is like a couple of scenes within Evil Dead, but he did this a lot within this movie, is the use of like splitting the frame, but like opacity wise, like half the frame you would see
that's a big technique,
and then also seeing like the other environment. It was done a lot when there was the dream walking sections, but one of the most visually appealing shots in my mind, the one that I think of, funny enough, I don't know why, it just keeps coming back to me. It's the shot during that scene where he's resurrecting the dead Strange to become his like dream walking avatar, and it's the shot of the eyes, but it's not a close up on the eyes like we usually get. It's kind of like just a close up of the entire head, but it's focusing on the eyes because there's that really almost fiery look of lighting that flickers and is put on his eyes, and it's silhouetted on his eyes only by like the bricks that he's buried under. So I love the cinematography with this. What about you, Mai? What are your thoughts on cinematography?
I think the cinematography was really good, entertaining, beautiful, glorious. Sam Raimi, Papa. I think I would give it 15 out of 20.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna go right into the ratings. Okay,
That's what we were doing.
that's fine. Justin, do you have any more comments to say, or do you want to give it its rating right now?
I think I've said what I needed to say. Like, he does literally everything from the spinning cameras to the rotation shots to even the warping effect from Evil Dead 2 makes a cameo. That's something I didn't expect. Probably I give it like an 18 or even 19 actually for me.
I don't have anything done. Obviously, if we literally look to the grading board's definition, stylistic vision and well planned out concept all around, especially in like the blocking stuff. There's beautiful shots throughout the film. 20 out of 20 for me.
You know what? Yeah, it's probably. I don't see why I'm not giving it a 20 out of 20. There's no shots that are particularly bad in my, like, when I'm remembering it. So yeah, I'm actually gonna go with a 20 out of 20. I think it's perfect cinematography.
So I think we're gonna get pulled down to a like 18.5 out of 20 because of Maya's 15 out of 20. But that's fair. So very nice, very nice. Next, so 18.5 out of 20 on the final score for cinematography. Very well done, Raimi. You nailed that. Let's move on to the next category.
You did what you did.
Maya, would you like to lead this one?
No thanks. I'm good.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
I give her the.
That is
Okay,
epic.
well, I mean, you know what? Then I'll take it then, kind of because I've already had a good handful about how the writing in this movie has been one of the worst-isk aspects of the film.
Yeah. Sadly.
I've already done my dive on it, right? It kind of doesn't fall. I felt like, especially, and that was a big vibe I got coming out of the theater myself before I even watched analysis or had time to think about it. Is it really kind of felt like it stepped outside of the character continuity of the greater MCU, which at this point, when we're like almost 30 movies in, so following that continuity I feel is very important, and I feel like they didn't follow it. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there was even a quote where Raimi himself didn't even watch all of WandaVision. He watched only parts of it, and I feel like that meant... But I feel like if you don't watch the entire show, then you cannot appreciate the entire character arc that Wanda goes through leading up to that end point, and it just felt out of character for her. Same thing with Doctor Strange. He is supposed to be wise, and he kind of just ended up being arrogant and steadfast and just not thinking straight.
Yeah.
And it's through the entire movie. And then the story itself, when you look at it brass tacks, it kind of seems generic. The dialogue itself wasn't too terrible. I definitely like a lot of the lines. I feel like one other line, though, I want to bring up that I thought was just kind of stupid was that Reed Richards, smartest man alive, proceeds to give away the one weakest of one of their strongest team heroes to the villain.
Is he supposed to be the smartest man alive?
A, yes, in the comics he is.
Oh.
B, they literally said it in the film as they're introducing Reed Richards.
Oh yeah, right, they did.
Smartest man alive, Reed Richards, leader of the Fantastic Four. Right? And then in the next scene, he's threatening Wanda, saying, "Wanda, Black Bolt can kill you with a single whisper of his mouth." What mouth? And then he's fucking Matrix says, "Reed Richards, if you had just shut up, she would have been dead."
Okay,
they would have beaten her.
He has no context.
He spoke.
He has no context with her powers. He did not know that she could do that.
That moment when
but still, if you're the smartest man alive, talking about the one weakness or something that could, or even explaining the powers, right, to someone who's your enemy, you don't give away your tricks, right? Leave it there. If she doesn't know, then that's an advantage you have. Alright, so that I said my piece, so before I give my rating, I'll let you two speak.
My favorite part is when Wanda snaps Professor X's neck, because I love hearing the reaction in the theater of everybody crying and everybody going like, no! Then here's me with little to no attachment to the X-Men, going, yep, that's pretty cool.
Alright, Maya, what do you think of the story?
I mean, I got what I wanted, Doctor Strange fighting Wanda, so that was really entertaining.
Nice! Very nice review, I love it.
I think they kind of put all of the material and just shoved it at Wanda, while everybody else's writing was kind of mid. Because Wanda had pretty good lines throughout the movie. I was kind of like, damn, pop off. I just think Wanda had the best lines out of the whole movie and kind of just overshadowed everybody else's.
She definitely was the star of the film.
Yeah, Wanda is a star in a Doctor Strange movie.
I liked that a lot. I agree. I mean, I felt just looking at it like that, her character, her lines, her story, it was a lot of fun if you isolate it to that movie. But again, I kind of disagree with the overall continuity of her story, as it doesn't make sense how she went from learning her mistakes of being evil and using her powers for selfish needs to becoming zero shits given, let me go be a fucking badass villain and kill people without remorse, right?
It does feel like there was some sort of chapter missing there, like some context that we should have gotten. Because what I thought was that this movie was going to be her transformation from good guy to
good
hero
to evil.
To villain. Yeah, good to evil. But no, it literally just like started off with sussy Wanda, and like she was already evil from the get-go. we were getting to it. Like, we were definitely getting to Wanda being a villain. They were taking the proper steps. They just like they were halfway up the stairs, and then they just like flew her on a helicopter the rest of the way up.
I'm gonna give it like a 10 out of 20.
10 out of 20?
Yeah, that's my
Alright.
rating.
So, since we're on the subject of Wanda, alright, so black bars, top, bottom, left, right, impact font. Not gonna lie, Wanda kinda hot though. Alright, 10 out of 20.
Yo, story was shit,
Multiverse
but
of more like Multiverse of Mommy, am I right, guys?
I mean,
yes,
it's really called
Doctor
MOM.
Strange into the Mommyverse, I mean multiverse. With Wanda Mommy Moth.
She is a mom. She literally is going after her kids. It's like, damn.
Mother's Day?
She literally a MILF.
She
Yeah.
is literally a MILF.
She is.
She is the MCU
Oh my
MILF.
God.
She made her kids through magic, but that's what all parents do.
Oh my god. So okay, so I give 10 out of 20. Justin gives 20 out of 20. What do you give, Maya?
I'm
But
gonna give
20
it
out
a
of 20,
12.
goddamn.
10 out of 20. I said 10.
Yeah, there
I
we
said
go.
it too fast. My bad.
I'm gonna give it a 12 out of 20.
Okay, so we'll give it about a 11 out of 20. I think that's a fair score. So definitely much lower than compared to cinematography.
Oh, we're
Other
talking
than
about,
yeah. So my quick comment before I give it over to you guys. Like, I'm sure you and Maya probably have some things to say about this. Maya probably will love to talk about Elizabeth Olsen.
Are
But
you gonna be... Alright.
the only weak performance in this movie, I think, came from Chavez, that character.
Talking America.
What the
Alright, well,
fuck
with that,
did you
I'll let
say?
I'll let that passion drive the narrative of
I'm
this
sorry,
podcast.
honey,
Maya, go ahead.
uh,
Repeat yourself and continue.
What did you say? I heard, fucking America. Is that what you said? Because it lagged out on your end. And I heard fucking America.
The actress he was referring to was the one who played America.
Oh, okay. Before we say anything further, I think America is a stupid name.
I mean, okay. That's not a gripe against the movie, though. That's not a gripe against the movie. That's more a gripe against
That's a
the
gripe
actual
against the comics. I get it.
Yeah.
But he constantly says, we have to save America. It's so stupid. He sounds like he's quoting Donald Trump.
Oh, shit.
Please, we gotta get... Please, America is so powerful. America has a power unlike anything I've ever seen. It's so fucking stupid.
Oh my god. The character can be described literally with the fucking Hillary Clinton quote. America is great because America is good.
Exactly. America is good.
Oh my god. Yeah, so we can all agree. We can all agree that character was not great in the movie. She was more of a plot device than a character, honestly. Right? She basically was the Infinity Stones of this movie. If we were to give it a reference to another plot device in Marvel. But let's talk about the good acting from like Elizabeth Olsen, Benedict Cumberbatch, Benedict Wong, the members of the Illuminati, right? Let's talk about that. But even fucking the acting from Cumble, right? We got a lot of people we could talk about that did good in this movie. Like, she's the only weak performance. The score, for me, the acting is going to get, like, a big hit, like, maybe by 3 points. But for me, everyone else did phenomenal.
One thing that really struck me, though, is that, when both Wandas were in the same room, I don't know. I thought they were going to be, the same thing.
Be careful with your words there. Two Wandas in the same room. I was gonna blank.
0 out of 10. They did not fuck.
That's a different kind of movie.
No, it's probably somewhere on the, the web. Wink.
It's somewhere in the multiverse. Everything is possible.
Doctor Strange.
There is a universe where...
Hotness.
Alright. Black bars.
Really
Top, bottom.
me
Left,
is
right.
that-
Impact font.
Justin, shut up.
Okay, fine.
Shut up!
Okay, fine.
Anyway, what really impressed me is that Wanda, variant Wanda, and, our Wanda were two, completely different characters somehow, played by the exact same person. Like, I thought that was very, very impressive in acting-wise. They were both completely different characters played by the same actor, which, beautiful. It takes talent to do that. And, Doctor Strange, my favorite. I love him. I die for him. He's amazing. I love him and all of his variants I saw in the film. I'm shit at talking, but yeah, all of them did great except for America.
The point you brought up with Elizabeth Olsen, I think, is better given as tribute to Benedict in this film. She did better at portraying different attitudes of emotion that she had, right? She was able to go from peaceful person working on a farm who was just natural, or happy mother, right? Or evil witch who is a badass, or someone who is literally a fucking monster, right? Or someone who is grief-stricken and literally dying inside, right? She's able to have all these different emotions and portray them all splendidly. And then we've got Benedict Cumberbatch, who actually does go and play different variants of himself. He goes from all these different characters and he makes them all feel unique, which is a very important role when you're dealing with variants.
Fun fact, when Justin and I were in the theater watching
scene,
looked at me and said, he just turned into an incel.
Yeah, it's literally Nice Guy Strange. It's literally, I didn't get my wife. I had to look at her at the wedding and I turned evil because of it. It's literally just a nice guy.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. So, I felt like, again, the only weak acting, in my opinion, in this movie was from Chavez. Everyone else did a phenomenal job, from low roles to big roles, right? So I'm going to give this movie a 16 out of 20.
I'm going to give it a 16 out of 20.
Okay, another 16. Maya, do you have any final comments, or are you ready to give your rating?
I'm going to give it a 17 out of 20.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 20. They kind of balance out that 18.5 we've got. 16.5 out of 20 for acting. That is pretty good. It's not too bad. Moving on. Unless there are any objections, am happy to lead this section because I might not be a musician myself, but I have a very keen ear for music and sound, and I very much enjoyed the soundtrack and music used and sounds used in this movie. So, the next category, sound and music. I loved it in this movie. The very first time in this movie that it really threw me like holy shit, and I was giddy, was when it was the scene where they were setting up how they were going to go and see Wanda, and we heard the actual WandaVision song from the show. That was really brilliant. I loved how they actually used the original songs. I was kind of dancing in my seat, singing the song along as the scene went on. It was fun. It was kind of fun to see that connection. Yeah.
So would that be more of a point for WandaVision rather than Doctor Strange?
No, that's a point. We're not talking about when it comes to bringing characters in, like movies like this where you're bringing in characters from other IPs, or not IPs, like other stories. I think it helps it helps really set in stone that these are who these characters are by using these other themes, which they did really well in this movie, right? We had the WandaVision theme when they introduced Wanda and her kids in that scene, which was really well done. And then they also had the original X-Men music play when they revealed Charles Xavier. They also had a lot of really good creepy music. Different versions of the Doctor Strange theme for all the different versions. Very spooky music for the spooky scenes. Uplifting music for all the different scenes. It was just all around very, very well done in this movie. Yeah. So the music, there's not a lot to speak, but the music in this movie was really well done. And the sounds at all, there was nothing that took me out of it. The sound paints a picture of the environment, immersing the audience. Music was consistently, and it follows the character motifs that match the journey and the emotions. Literally the perfect description of what's on the rubric. I loved it. 20 to 20.
Oh no, my god!
I take that back. Not 20 to 20.
Wow.
I'll give it a 17 out of 20. So who wants to take it next? Who wants to talk about the sound and music in this movie? Maya kind of agreed with my points. Would you like to move forward?
No, you said everything I agreed with, so.
Justin?
Hello there. Hello everybody. My name is Markiplier. So, I kind of forgot what the music sounded like in Doctor Strange. Most of the music kind of just like blended in for me. I didn't really feel a strong like musical presence besides one particular scene.
Okay.
The music battle. The music battle is one of the most creative, visually stunning, and like musically stunning scenes I've ever seen in a superhero movie. It is fucking genius. It's cheesy. I love it because the presentation around it is just so memorable. I love how not many movies do this nowadays, but the music is very reactionary to the actions going on. Like it'll play different notes depending on what actions the characters do and what kind of depending on what kind of instruments they have. It was such a brilliant use of music for that scene. I
agree.
it.
I mean, not only is that scene extremely clever and unique and trying something new, which is super creative, but I think for an action scene, it kind of is a little lackluster. It's not super intense. It's a little boring almost for some people. I can agree, but the creativity and the effects and the music and I'm happy it went for it, and I think in some respects it paid off.
Yeah.
So, what is your rating then, Justin?
I'm actually gonna give it probably a 13 out of 20 because as I said, other than that one scene, there's not much of the music really stood out to me. It was kind of just like bleh in the background. I didn't notice a lot of the music. Maybe it's just my memory being fucky, but I cannot remember the musical cues for the life of me, besides that one specific scene. Also, the sound mix, I thought it was kind of empty for a Marvel movie. It was like the sounds were there, but it was missing that like oomph, that boost. You watch something like the Batman, and the sound effect or the sound mixing and the sound editing is like immaculate. It felt a little bit empty to me.
I mean, if I had to say, if I had to give the defense to the movie, I don't disagree with you, but if I had to give defense, I think part of that reason is because, think of it this way: with Batman, that's a physical movie, right? If you didn't hear the punching or the sound, the revving of the engines or the droplets of the rain, it takes you out of that very in-depth environment that it's created. Whereas this is a multiverse, it's taking you throughout different multiverses or universes and dimensions and planes of existence. And there's not a lot of physical fighting in this movie, and when there is, it does sound like obviously we had the great continuing sound continuity of the vibranium shield when we had Captain Carter. But then other than that, they're supposed to be mystical. They're not supposed to be heavy and went hard. They're supposed to be almost light and breezy because that's how it is. So do you agree, disagree, Maya? What do you think of the rating for this section?
I don't know.
I mean, the music was pretty good. They made the spooky scenes spooky, the action scenes actiony.
They made the spoopy spoopy.
Yeah, they fit the tones of the movie, I feel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what would you give it a score then?
I would give it a 17 out of 20.
Oh, same as me. Look at that, Justin. Look who's the outcast.
Oh, what do you know?
Sam Raimi stan.
Fuck you.
So, I'm gonna give this 16 out of 20. then for Justin's low ball, but our 2 highs. So that's great. All
I'm
right.
keeping it. I'm keeping.
I'm not saying you have to change at all. I'm not.
I'm not being.
All right.
I'm not. I will not be pure pressured. I am keeping it.
The next and the last category. This is your bread and butter, Justin. So I'm happy for you to take the lead. Post-production. What do you have to say?
The editing for some of the scenes were really creative. Like there were some very creative editing choices that I have never really seen in a conventional like blockbuster movie. Like some of the techniques that I'm thinking of in my head, they just really went full out with it. Like for example, the warp effects, the transitions between the multiverses. It just like it really stood out to me as something special rather than just blending into the background with a lot of these Marvel movies, I would say. And it's really snappy too. Like just moves from scene to scene to scene. The only times where it feels slow is because of that story. That story is just weighing the pacing down, I think. But if you take the editing on its own, like it tells what it needs to tell, and then it just moves on. Because a lot of Marvel movies, like they'll kind of overstay their welcome a little bit. You know, they'll be 2 hours and 30 something or whatever, and you'll be like, oh, that could be cut out. That could definitely be cut out. With this one, there's very few things that I can say could be really cut out of the story. It's really tight, and the effects. Lastly, it's a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
It's literally, they do what they do.
Yeah. Maya, I only have a couple things to say, so I'll let Maya take the floor before I speak.
The stage
Do you
is
want
yours.
another minute to think? Do you want another minute to think about it?
Sure.
Okay. With me, you pretty much summed it all up very, very well. There's only really like 2 things, maybe 3 things I have to say about this movie that I want to talk about within this section. One, I think it had a lot to live up to compared to the first Doctor Strange movie. That trip when the Sorcerer Supreme sends them through the different dimensions and looking at everything extreme, and then also the fight in the mirror dimension against the Zealots. Those are 2 phenomenal scenes that were masterpieces when they first came out, and have aged really well. And so this movie had a lot to live up to when it comes to keeping with like that trend, and I don't think it hit that marker in its way. That scene where it goes to the multiverse is very, very cool on its own right, and it does that scene, but it's shorter the visual dimensional trip scene that the Sorcerer Supreme sends him through, and the fight scene against there's even the scene with Dormammu in the Dark Dimension from the original movie. That was also very stunning. So one of the things that the original Doctor Strange movie that really made it unique and phenomenal was its extreme special effects, and I personally do not think that this movie lived up to that. So it loses some marks there. And then also there was a couple of scenes. There are people that have said that there are a few scenes where the CGI itself, or like some of the green screening, is a little rough. I didn't see a lot of them, but there was one scene in particular that I actually did notice something, and it's when Wong is like first introduced. He gets tangled up by the tentacle and like brought up into the air. And if you watch that scene on him, you can really see the rough CGI editing of like him being green screened and then that monster CGI wrapped around him. It's very rough. It's very obvious, and kind of took me out of it in that moment.
Usually during scenes where people are like real actors are grabbed by like a CGI monster or whatever,
Yeah, it can be,
or it's holding it in its hand.
The
It
MCU
usually
does a pretty good job at that, though. Especially, even think of it Thanos-wise. Thanos was a CGI character played by a real one. And even the scene where, like, he picks up, like, the best scene I could think of which, like, interactions between a real actor and a CGI would have been when, in the very beginning of Infinity War, when he picked up Loki and strangled him. That looked very realistic and very good, right? Whereas that scene chucked me out of the movie just for a second. So yeah, Maya, do you have anything you'd like to say?
I mean, you basically said everything I wanted to say.
Okay, well then I'll let you go first then. What would you give for rating out of post-production?
I would give it a 17 out of 20.
Okay, yeah, it's fair. Justin?
I would give it a... Yeah, probably like a 17. Uh-oh. Are you gonna be the minority this time?
I'm gonna give it a 14 out of 20.
Oh, you are the minority! How does it feel? How does it feel?
Which means we have our actual grading board now. Calculations, we're going to add cinematography, got an 18.5 out of 20. We got 11 out of 20 for writing. Acting was a 16.5 out of 20. And then we had 16 out of 20 for both sound and music. So, the Jam Entertainment rating of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is... 78 out of 100. That is a very good score.
Yay!
Everybody, this is the unanimous objective score of the film. If you think that it's lower, you are wrong.
We hope you had a good time here. If you liked the video, please like, comment, and if you want to see more of us, please subscribe. We do movie reviews and other shenanigans on this channel.
Black bars, top, bottom, left, right, impact font. Not gonna lie, Wanda kind of sus though.
Oh yeah, don't forget to smash that like button!